Iba din yung Kailangan ko lang ilabas. Sorry.
R18 na, besh.
Maglalagay tayo ng rated STV.
Hey,
Hi,
Jay.
KK.
Hey, JJ.
So, ang chika natin for today is about being single. Can you relate?
Of course! Pero wait lang, tapos sa Valentine's besh siya.
February 14, Valentine's Day applies to those who are in love and in a relationship. Pero how about the majority of the population, I would say, na singles. So, single awareness day din siya, technically. So, let's talk about being single kasi relate na relate naman tayo dun sa topic na yun, right?
Yes.
We lived it. We're living it.
I would say we're experts in this field. What about being single?
Have you ever thought about the advantages and the disadvantages of being single? Because I'm sure, no way mo na yun.
You know me so well.
Natin.
Okay, game.
So ano muna yung advantage?
Although I have already thought about this before, now that you asked me about it, parang medyo nabigla pa rin ako. I'm at that point where, of course, I prefer to have somebody, diba? Kasi nga I want to have a family someday. But I'm at that point where if it doesn't happen, that's fine. If it happens, if somebody comes along, tas magkasundo kami, edi great, diba? Freedom.
Same tayo dun.
Oh, diba? Freedom to do whatever you want. Freedom to spend your money on the things that you like, diba? O, ikaw?
Sa akin din, agree ako doon. Pero more of freedom and liberty in terms of decision making for your career or lifestyle or your future. You get to decide what you want without having to consult anybody else.
Yeah. Without having to think of what the other person might think then. Or
and
how
to
they
consider
might
how
react.
it's gonna affect them.
Yeah. Freedom ng time din. Like you have the freedom of time then. You have more time for yourself, which depends on the person kasi it can be a bad thing to some and a good thing to others, right?
I resonate with that. Yung time.
Yeah.
Kasi you have more time to pursue your hobbies.
Yeah.
Or to learn new skills. Or
to podcast.
May or halimbawa, mga impromptu trips, impromptu plans.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Without considering na parang, ma-affect yung time ninyo or you have something planned.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, when you don't have anybody.
Simula pa lang. Bakit naman parang...
sad.
I know.
There are people who thrive in solitude.
Yeah.
Like you enjoy traveling by yourself.
Yeah.
Or eating out by yourself or watching a movie by yourself. But not everybody's the same.
In relation to yung having more me time, naisip ko lang isa pang advantage is you get to have the time to get to know yourself. I think this is very important. It doesn't matter if you're single or you're engaged or in a relationship, married or whatever. But I think this is important. It's that you have to learn how to enjoy your own company. Diba? Kasi you can't always have somebody there with you 24/7. Right? Most of the time it's just gonna be you, yourself, and your thoughts. It is a blessing that ang tagal-tagal na nating single. But no, it's a blessing to have that time then to yourself to know who you are outside of being somebody's girlfriend or being somebody's boyfriend, diba? You as in ikaw kung sino ka.
Ang naisip ko naman with this thing that we shared, because there are people who I would say never nababakante. Like, it's one relationship after another, walang pahinga. Kumbaga, that's just how they operate. Like, they're not used to life without a partner. So, parang I've been encountered several stories
Mm-hmm.
of that situation where
Yeah.
yun nga, when a relationship has ended, like you struggle to find yung balance. Like hindi mo, parang you're lost na kasi you
Mm.
cannot operate na outside of being in a relationship. Kasi it's always been you and this another person.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe parang na-absorb mo na lang whatever the other person likes and dislikes, and then parang you accepted it as your own. So once na-single ka, hindi mo na alam, like lost ka na. Parang nawala na yung pagka-individual, yung ano mo,
Identity mo.
pagka, oo, nawala na yung identity mo. Like you don't know who you are anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So far, ano pa bang advantage? Yung tanong ko, meron pa bang advantage? Isa pang advantage is it's less complicated overall.
Yeah.
Kasi when you have a partner, although hindi pa kayo married, siyempre parang party acquainted ka na with his side of the family, his side, his set of friends. Basta parang you gain another set of everything. So, sometimes things can get complicated. Low energy na naman.
Kasi
Lagi
naman,
lang ganito. Meron pa ba? May advantage pa ba?
parang
Or
wala
should
na
we
akong
go to the
maisip.
disadvantage?
Pwede na tayo pumunta sa disadvantage. Feeling ko,
May
parang
naisip ka na
marami
ba?
kang masasabi dito eh. Ikaw,
Grabe!
game. Go, go, go.
Grabe!
The floor is yours.
It's not a lot. Pero ang naisip kong disadvantage would be the seasonal loneliness.
Mm.
You know, there are just times na you wish you had a partner, you wish you had somebody to share every little detail of your day. It's just nice to have that somebody, that
Yeah.
constant companion. So, being single, syempre, it's, hindi naman natin, kumbaga, sanay na kasi tayo. We're so used to being single that we're not impaired by the reality that we don't have a partner.
Mm-hmm.
So, hindi naman tayo paralyzed by it. But then, if you would admit na there will be certain days lang talaga na you feel lonely about it.
Friends can fill that role. I wouldn't say fill that gap eh. That role na yun nga yung constant companion, or if you need somebody to talk to, share your ups and downs with, ganon. But it's still different. Diba? It's still different if yun nga, pag girlfriend or boyfriend.
I cannot say kung it's very different when it comes to friends having girlfriends or boyfriends. Kasi when we talk about friends who are married with children, that I can definitely say na talaga it's a totally different scenario. Like
Yeah.
I do have friends na parang medyo hindi na kami masyado nag-uusap now, which is sad. But I understand kasi parang we're coming from different life stages eh.
Yun nga.
In a way, sometimes you cannot relate anymore. And maybe yung concerns ng person na yun, hindi na rin same as your concerns. Kasi, kumbaga, it's the next level na siya.
Yeah.
Iba na yung set ng problems and issues niya in life. So, hindi naman sa hindi na kayo friends, pero kumbaga, there's just less topics to talk about.
Yeah. Because you're prioritizing, different things. Kumbaga, ikaw, you're single, you're prioritizing yourself. Siya, may family na, may anak na.
That sounds so selfish.
Diba? I mean, that's the simplest explanation. Pero pag may family na, syempre priority niya, family niya, diba? And it's perfectly normal. That's perfectly understandable. Diba?
Actually, ang pinaka hindi ako makarelate is when friends with children would ask, may kilala ba kayong pedya? I'm like, wala.
Sabihin mo, oo, yung pedya ko nung bata ako.
Oh my gosh. Yun. Pero it doesn't mean na we're sad about being
No.
But we don't deny the fact that there will be days that we feel a little bit lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Because of it. Yun.
Okay. Yeah.
Yun na lang.
Oo. May naisip ako isa pang disadvantage.
Wow, okay, may naisip na siya. What
Yung
is it?
if you go to family reunions.
I was gonna say that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
if you go to family reunions and of course if you meet yung yung mga older generation
The
and then they ask
uncles and
you,
the
yeah,
auntie.
yeah, and then they ask you para, oh, do you have a boyfriend already or when are you gonna get married or your grandmother or your grandfather wants to have,
Grandchildren.
oo. So parang alam mo sa sobrang daming beses
Like
na
it
nangyari sa
puts you
akin
in a
yun.
very awkward situation.
Yeah,
Like you know what to answer, pero the situation itself, kasi ang awkward niya, hindi mo tuloy alam paano sasagutin.
yeah, parang it's not like you don't want to have a boyfriend. It's just that you don't
Yeah.
have a boyfriend. It's just the way it is.
That's so funny, but it's true. Like, they make it sound like you're intentionally doing something about not
Yeah.
being in a relationship.
Pero I think some people naman choose to be single, di ba? Like,
Yeah.
some people choose to be single naman and they're happy being single. But
Mm.
for us, because I know that you also want to have a family rin. For us, it's like,
Yeah.
hindi naman namin to ginusto maging single. Bakit yung
Yeah.
ganon?
I guess, I think naman they mean well.
Yeah.
They do mean well when they ask. But then, I think you have to come from a position na you have to be more sensitive about it
Yeah.
because kailangan mo i-consider na if this person intentionally trying to remain single by choice or if this person still waiting, di ba?
Yeah.
He doesn't need another person asking it out loud. Kasi
Yeah.
nga, she's been thinking about that
Yeah.
exact thing herself.
Yeah.
And, kumbaga, may kanya-kanyang struggle kasi. Di ba? Some people have an easier time dealing with being single. Kumbaga, if it happens for me, then great. If it doesn't, then, di ba, oh well, parang I can still love myself. So,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem living alone. But then there are people who struggle with being single. And asking those kinds of questions might be putting additional pressure on them na hindi na nila kailangan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yun.
Pero I think being single is kind of tougher for females than it is for males, especially when you're growing older na.
People are more forgiving with men when it comes to them being single kasi wala naman silang burden na manganganak, diba? They have to, kumbaga walang ticking clock, walang ticking body clock involved.
Everybody just needs to respect kung ano man yung choices ng tao, right? And be sensitive din.
True.
Kasi it's not like that person hasn't thought of it yet, di ba? Kung
I mean, for you to make that kind of a decision,
yeah.
I'm sure you've thought about the pros and cons of it, di ba?
Yeah. Huwag ka nang magtanong ng mga questions na, medyo controversial or sobrang personal, lalo na if you're not really close. Ano pa bang disadvantages? Sige, go.
somewhat related na rin kasi, yung social stigma kasi, di ba? Na parang, pag wala kang asawa, as a woman, pag wala kang asawa, parang old maid ka, ganyan.
Okay.
So, syempre, in a way, parang, depende sa'yo kung
magpapa-affect ka
doon.
Yeah.
Or parang, I don't really care what you say or what you think.
Ikaw ba? Ako, Kebs. For me, I don't really care.
Ako din, Kebs.
Kebs, pero like...
Again, it will affect me at that point in time. Kasi hindi naman ako robot. Hindi naman ako bato. Na parang, hindi ko naman kaya yung sinasabi nila na parang, oh, it's okay. Parang, in one ear, out the other ear.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like that. Like,
Mhm.
it's in one ear and it goes down here.
Yeah.
And then it's processed and then it filters out what to keep and what to throw away.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm affected.
Oo.
But, I don't let myself be affected for that long naman. Na detrimental siya for my mental health.
Mhm. Ako, Kebs, insofar as, if naririnig ko lang, like, tignan mo siya, parang bakit hanggang ngayon, ganyan, 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 single. I'm Kebs, I don't care. Pero pag sa mukha ko sinabi na,
Okay.
I think there's something wrong with you. That's why you're still single. Syempre, who wouldn't be irritated?
Well, that's kind of aggressive naman.
Diba? Aminado naman, nobody's perfect. But for you to say that there's something wrong with me when you don't really know me, that's below the belt. Doon ako nai-irritate. Pero pag if it's like just dyan lang, I don't care.
So it's like it's okay when they're not talking to you about it. But when they bring it up to you, then ibang usapan na siya.
I think it depends then on how they bring it up eh. Like, yung sa example ko earlier, that's very aggressive. Like, if they ask me lang naman na maayos, like, bakit? Parang, is it a choice?
Bakit? Wala pa ba?
Oo. Parang kung maayos yung pagkakatanong niya, syempre sasagutin ko ng maayos din. I wouldn't be upset naman or anything. But if they're being aggressive and if they're insinuating that ikaw yung talaga may problema, iba na yun. Diba?
Okay. So parang if they're imposing their opinion about you.
Yeah. Parang they don't know me well enough to say that, diba? Medyo ako doon kasi I've had somebody say that to me. So,
okay.
Yeah. So parang
pala to? Based off an experience.
Yeah. Kasi sinabi talaga niya sa akin, not in so many words, but ganoon yung sinabi niya. Na, I think you're still single because there's something wrong with you. So you need to reflect.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm sorry, but you don't really know me well enough to say that.
Sino to? Tell me off air.
Okay.
Tell me off air who this person is.
Anyway, isa pang disadvantage na naisip ko. I think lang, like for example, if you live by yourself, and if you're single and you're not married, wala kang kahati dun sa rent.
Financial burden.
Yeah.
Well, makes sense.
Diba? If you live alone.
It's a valid reason.
Sorry, nandun na ako sa practical ngayon.
Bakit hindi ka nalang kumuha ng housemate if rent is the main concern?
Kasi some people don't really like housemates eh.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Diba? So
living by themselves.
Yeah.
Like it's not always a good idea to share space.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with strangers.
Yeah.
Kasi nga, sometimes sharing space with family na nga lang triggers,
okay,
all sorts
stop.
of problems. Paano pa kaya strangers?
Yeah.
Yun lang yung point doon.
Yeah. Kasi, di ba, iba yung stranger, iba yung housemate, iba yung husband, iba yung wife.
Iba din yung person. Kailangan ko lang ilabas. Sorry.
R18 na, besh.
Maglalagay tayo ng rated STV.
So, ano pa bang disadvantages?
I can't think of any other disadvantage. Basically, yun lang for me.
I'm getting ahead of myself, but maybe companionship down the line, when you grow older na talaga. I think that's something. That's also related to yung loneliness nga.
Don't worry. We'll be 85. I'll be 85 and you'll be 80-something. And then we'll still do podcasts, for companionship.
Pero, besh, sino makikinig sa atin? 85-year-olds.
Naka-hearing aid na sila nun. No?
Alam ko na, may makikinig pa rin sa atin, yung mga friends natin.
Hi, single friends. We love you.
Yeah. Heart.
Naisip ako, hi, single friends. How many of them are still single? Paubos na ba?
No, nga eh. Ako marami pa naman.
Paubos na ba tayo?
Marami pa naman, pero may isa tayong single friend na magiging hindi na single this year.
Yeah. Good for her.
Congratulations. You know who you are. We love you.
I think another disadvantage would be, di ba nauso yung mga, anong apps yun? Go. What's the other one? Yung mas popular one? Bookie? Ay,
Bookie?
Bookie, right?
Yeah,
Yung you get like, halimbawa, you order two main entrees and then you get one free, mga ganyan. So,
Yeah.
another disadvantage would be, kung wala kang plus one, it's just you can't avail of those promos. Like, physically, there should be another person.
Eh di hahatakin kita or hatakin mo ko. Problema ba yun?
Yeah, it could be a friend. It could be a friend naman. Pero, di ba?
Yeah. I get.
Eh, paano kung your friend, ay, ito. This is something na na-share sa akin ng friend. Tago natin sa friend. Di ba nga, kasi some or most of our friends are coupled up. So, pag nag-avail ka ng ganong bookie promo, for example, sino bang ikaka-share mo, even if you're with other people, couple-couple nga sila. They're all paired up. So, you're like the third, fifth, or seventh wheel. So, wala ka pa rin ka-pair. Hindi mo pa rin ma-avail yung promo because of that.
Ay, hindi. Kung wala naman silang date nung araw na yun, pahiram muna ni friend. I-avail lang namin to.
Nakakaawa.
I-avail lang namin to. Sasoli ko rin siya sa'yo.
Sa text mo, hello friend, available ka ba today?
Can I borrow
yung
you?
ikaw lang.
Oo.
Yung ikaw lang, huwag mo isama yung jowa mo. Parang awa mo na. Sawang-sawa na ako maging third wheel. At hindi, parang isa din yun. Isang disadvantage. Like, sometimes you rarely get to go out with some of your friends na dahil they're coupled up, they have a partner. So, syempre, halimbawa, that's their only free day. So, they would most likely spend it with their plus one.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to plan something or you want to go out with them, chances are, they're gonna bring their boyfriend or girlfriend with them. So, lagi kang third wheel.
Yeah.
Though it's not always a bad thing naman. Like, there are friends naman na parang, they make it fun for you being a third wheel. Parang they don't make it awkward. Like, walang PDA, so hindi siya parang awkward experience. Na parang feeling mo you're the odd one out. Ganun.
I think it helps din talaga if you know the boyfriend or the girlfriend din of your friend. Diba? Mm-hmm. And kung jive din kayong lahat, it's just like going out with your barkada.
Yeah.
So masaya siya in a way, but then when reality hits you na parang, oh, ako pala yung third wheel dito. Then
pampagulo pala ako sa date nila.
Oo.
I hope those who will be listening to this podcast would also share kung para sa kanila, ano yung mga advantages and disadvantages of being single. You could be coming from a point where you were previously in a relationship and then recently single. So I'm sure yung contrast nun mas clear. Like, they can compare the pros and cons kasi very fresh.
I can't think of anything else.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
No?
Yeah.
Sige, tapusin na natin to. Bye.
Bye.